Aloha, folks. Welcome back to Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. We are not at the Breezeway. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Inferno Room. Yeah, dude, this place is phenomenal. Like one of the best tiki bars I've ever been to. And it's not just because I have like the owners watching me right there. I would like to bring onto the show the owners of the Inferno Room, Chris Coy and Ed Rudisell. Chris?
Thanks for having us.
Ed? Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. Like, such a rad experience and such a rad event that you guys threw yesterday. Well, okay, first of all, we're not really making a drink, are we?
It's a drink.
Well, I guess it. I guess we're gonna drink it. It's a drink, but it's not one of the drinks that you guys serve here, right?
No.
So why don't we do that first, and then we can get into a little conversation about, like, you know, the bar and your inspiration for the bar and.
Yeah, the inspiration for this is a big hangover from yesterday. Coffee.
For real. So we're gonna start with some coffee.
Some of the finest.
How much coffee are you gonna put in there?
A lot.
Okay.
Measure it out very carefully to the top of the mug.
Yeah.
You gotta leave a little room. You have to leave room.
Right, because we are gonna spice this up a little bit. And then of course you get the MaiKai mug there. They're both MaiKai mugs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we're gonna be using
Rum-Bar Rum Cream.
Yes.
Yeah, some of my favorites.
We're filming this not super early in the morning. Early in the morning for me, because I'm coming from California.
Early for us.
Being around people that are in the bar industry really makes you realize what a horrifying work world this is. You're a vampire.
Pretty much, yeah.
Rad. Cheers.
Cheers.
I was like, I was gonna top off some more. Cheers.
Perfect.
One for the doctor.
Perfect.
That's great. So, when did you guys open this place?
2018.
Okay.
We just celebrated 4 years. That was
like,
yesterday.
Right in time for the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So, did you have to shut down right after you opened?
We've been open a little while, but yeah, we had to shut down for a couple months. We took advantage of that time and built the new section next door, and we were the idiots that expanded during the
Right,
shutdown
yeah.
and the pandemic.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no income. Let's increase our rent.
Yeah, totally. Your collection of Papua New Guinea art is staggering. This is one of the best decorated tiki bars I've ever been to.
Thank you.
Ever.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So tell me about like all of the decor, the art.
We really got super lucky that we stumbled into a collection. Jack Edler was an anthropologist that lived in southern Indiana and spent many years in Papua New Guinea, living there, studying.
Yeah.
And unfortunately passed away, but we purchased his collection off of his brother. So we have authentic pieces from mid-70s to probably the mid-90s.
Wow.
Roughly.
Yeah, and that really kick-started the design from the beginning. I mean, we were really kind of struggling to focus, not because we didn't know what we wanted, but you know, it's building a bar like this isn't expensive and it's very time-consuming, or it is expensive. That ramped us right up and gave us direction. I mean, it was like the big piece that when that fell into place, we were like full steam. Then we knew what we wanted to do.
I'll tell you that like when I was building the Breezeway, it only took one or two like incredible estate sales where you go, oh, I get it. I just bought all of the decor for the Breezeway in one sale. There's, of course, you're collecting and stuff. But also, there's a dude who contributed a ton of stuff that you couldn't just buy. Like in the stairs, there's like skulls and stuff. Tell me about that dude.
Hey, dude.
Yeah. That dude happens to be sitting over here.
Yeah, lake surfer from the old Tiki Central days.
Dave Hansen, Lake Tiki. Yeah, we were super lucky to get hooked up with him. So anything in here that's not authentic is Dave.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dave studies Papua New Guinea art. I mean, he's very faithful to everything. So we were lucky to be able to fill in all the holes with his work.
He's an incredible, super traditional carver.
Yeah, from the outset, when we wanted to emphasize the work of people from the Midwest, even if they weren't currently living there. And so when we first started that out, we just kind of put the fishing line out to see, you know, who was out there who would kind of vibe with our style. And like Dave was one of the first people. Our friend Martin from Smuggler's Cove was like, you need Dave, just go all Dave. He's perfect for you guys and he lives close by. Yeah, I mean, it was just perfect match. Same thing with like Kenny Ruzick that's done a lot of work. I mean, he's, you know, originally from Illinois and I was talking to Kenny yesterday. It's just, he's, you know, thanks for all the work. I'm like, man, like when we give you an idea and you come back with exactly what we couldn't, like that's why, you know, we've gotten so close.
Why did you guys want to open a tiki bar? Or what led you to tiki?
Oh, it was a long path, but I mean, you know, traveling, going to tiki bars. I mean, I always say it's impossible to have a bad time at a tiki bar. The culture, everything. Then we got into rum. That one of his old restaurants, and then they just kind of, I kept pushing and pushing. Like, tiki bar.
Yeah.
Tiki bar. We need a
Yeah,
tiki
he was
bar.
saying, we need a tiki bar. And I kept resisting it because, you know, we were, I mean, gosh, you started bugging me and, you know, putting that in my ear in probably 2011.
Oh,
And,
wow,
you know,
really?
Yeah.
And so it was, we were just kind of starting to see that craft cocktail renaissance starting to hit outside of New York, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was still in the phase of where, you know, all the bartenders had waxed mustaches and like, you know, waistcoats and,
Totally.
you know, and they'd really look down on you if you ordered anything but a boozy stirred drink, right?
Uh-huh.
And so fast forward a couple years when we were at that restaurant, again, Chris and I worked together since the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We started noticing, for some reason, there was a phase where Missionary's Downfalls started popping up on a lot of like craft menus around.
Oh, really?
And
It's a good drink.
it is.
Yeah.
And it was like, it kind of slipped into like Mai Tai started popping up in, you know, various cocktail. And it was like, okay, finally these drinks are kind of getting their own again. They're being taken serious by the people that should be taking them serious.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of other pieces of the puzzle, but it really all came about like one weekend. And we
Yeah.
were like, let's just pull the trigger and do it.
You guys aren't fancy wax mustache guys.
What?
Yeah. I heard
I just forgot my wax.
I heard that your previous career was like was it being a roadie?
Oh, no. I was like, my previous career would go back to when I was 15.
Oh, wow,
Like,
really?
I've been in restaurants, yeah, since I was a teenager. But he was a touring musician.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
It's been a while. Like I said, we've worked in bars together since '99.
Yeah, probably. That's
Something
right on
like
that.
Yeah.
But you guys are kind of like metal guys, right? Like friends with serious metal bands like Slayer and
Yeah, that's just over the years. I don't know. It's that old, you know, tiki's where the old punks and metalheads go to die. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is.
totally same thing with like rockabilly and all that.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
just kind of
totally.
funnels into this one thing, and it all lives together really well, I think.
Yeah. And I think, you know, one thing from talking to some of the musicians that come through here on tours and such, it's like that kind of sense of normalcy as you live a very abnormal life. You're in a different city every single night, but like hunting down a tiki bar where it feels comfortable, it feels like home. There's
Totally.
kind of like that thread running through all of it. And I see that that's kind of the common thread, not to use the metaphor twice, but you know,
Yeah.
that ties it all together is that it's just kind of makes it feel like home for them. So we get those visitors as they come through. And like, I think that's why you see a lot of like, you know, touring musicians and production crews and theaters going to tiki bars all the time.
It's rad. It's just the escapist thing is just like Bob Gurr was just on my show and he invented or designed the monorail for Walt Disney.
Everybody just got monorail in their head, right? The Simpsons.
Yeah, totally. But he was like, why would I go to a normal bar when I can go to like this environment? You know, it is like going to a different world. And especially your place, man, is just like, it's just done so well. And I keep saying that, but it's so hard to, not keep saying that. And the amount of decor that is just like piled in the back rooms. And you
haven't
go,
seen the basement yet.
really? There is so much Papua New Guinea art that they're just like, yeah, I don't know, we're out of wall space.
Out of time to put it up. There's still wall
Yeah,
space.
time and there's still
yeah.
wall
Yeah.
space. But I mean, again, a lot of the smaller stuff gets tough because you know people get drunk and they
Take it home.
You know, we haven't had an issue with that. You know, luckily everybody's been very respectful of the native art, right? Yeah, it's our mugs that get stolen.
Oh,
but you know, so far so good. But you know, the smaller stuff we are nervous about because you have two choices or three. Don't put it up at all.
Right.
Put it up and risk getting stolen, or put a bolt through it or a nail. And
I know, then you're ruining the art. And,
Yeah, and some of the stuff's, you know, 40, 45 years old, so
Uh-huh.
you're also at risk of like that dried out wood just splitting immediately.
Totally. The first time I went to Smuggler's Cove, there was like a shelf within reach with a tiki bob just sitting there. And I was like, what are you doing? And I guess it got stolen. And then the next time I went in there was that tiki bob again, or a new tiki bob, but it was wrapped in chains. And they got wise to like, yeah, people get drunk and get handsy.
Well, I explained many times yesterday, like this place would not exist as it does today without Chris. Like he left the position where I was working at, where we were working together. I owned a restaurant called Black Market, and eventually, you know, we just got so deep into the build out. He's like, I got to leave. I got to go full time over there. You know, we got asked several times yesterday, like who built this place? Like who came in and did it? You know, Bamboo Ben or whatever. And I said, no, it was all Chris.
Wow, really?
You know, he dedicated. Luckily, I've got a business partner that is like an amateur carpenter. That's a thing. So like, You know,
amateur is a good word, yeah.
That's one of the reasons that we were able to go so deep into the immersive experience here, because we wouldn't have had the kind of funding to throw $3 million into this place. So if we would have paid somebody to do that, absolutely, that's what it would have cost. But
Tiki bars are expensive.
yes.
Super expensive. And you said you got a lot of the decor donated, right? Was it donated or you had to?
This main over here, the stuff from Jacko we purchased. We do have the new collection next door that was kind of on an art loan for us to be displayed. So.
The new collection. That's so wild. There's so much stuff.
We do treat it as a museum. I mean, we've got some signage as you go into the new section with the collection that's on loan. We briefly discussed putting,
QR codes or something.
Like,
but
it'll put it on the list of things that we need to get accomplished, right?
One of the other things that kind of surprised me is that upstairs is a room dedicated in the memory of Stephen Crane. Of course, he had the luau, he had Kon-Tiki ports, he was married to Lana Turner.
And he's from Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Yes. So that's the tie-in.
Yeah.
That's rad. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to shine that spotlight because, people, even within the tiki community, it gets forgotten. He gets forgotten.
Yeah.
We think of Trader Vic, we think of Don Beachcomber, but, a lot of people forget about Steve Crane. And obviously being from Crawfordsville, and he is buried here, so it's just about an hour. It's about an hour and 15 minutes outside of Indianapolis.
When Martin was in town, we literally took flasks of jet pilots up to his grave and toasted and drank jet pilots at his grave.
I think he would find this so wild that this whole culture has bubbled up from stuff that he created and Vic and Don. And what are your favorite cocktails here in your bar?
Oh man. Yeah, it's like choosing the favorite kid thing,
Yeah. We put a lot of time in every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have the Koi de Koi on the menu, so it's a namesake drink. I have to say that one, but
what's in that one?
It's a gin tiki.
Okay.
Gin, pamplemousse, pineapple lime. Yeah, my own drink. I'm like, ugh.
Right. I've been obsessed with our chicha colada lately.
Yeah, that's a new favorite.
It doesn't make sense that it tastes as good as it does. It's just greater than the sum of its parts. I still can't put my finger on what creating the magical flavor. I mean, it's chicha morada and rum fire. That's what's creating it. But the way those two things combine, in addition to, citrus and other ingredients, but I mean, those are the two flavors that really stand out. And the chicha morada brings so much depth to that drink, but with that funkiness of the rum fire,
right?
I just can't stop it. Even my wife, who doesn't really drink much, has to have one every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I had what's the drink that has is it mezcal?
Yeah, the Mango Diablo.
Mango Diablo, phenomenal drink. Kind of like tequila vibes, but also smoky and.
Yeah, that's another one back to rum fire. It's rum fire and mezcal just play really well together. It's great.
Yeah, it's hard to put your finger on why. There's something happening at a molecular level that you can't figure out.
But your garnishes, the service, your whole staff here is so great. The whole thing's, I keep fawning over the place, but I wouldn't say it if I didn't really think it.
Thanks, yeah. And a big shout out to the staff because they got killed this weekend. They did a great job.
Yeah, so. It was definitely an onslaught. And I mean, it's been a lot of ups and downs. I was just on the way in, listening to Combustible Edison. Probably should go, mention that, Brother Cleve was a friend of the bar, and, I've known him for probably about the last 8-10 years, something like that. And it was just, it was really sad to hear his passing yesterday, particularly during our event. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he passed away yesterday evening, I guess, actually, according to Jean Paul.
Wow. What a great band.
Yeah.
Combustible Edison. Kind of an Esquivel kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he lived with Esquivel for several years in Mexico, kind of
really
documenting things. Yeah, he's just a Renaissance man. He did everything. His loss is going to be, really apparent in coming years, especially in the Boston cocktail scene, but particularly in tiki. And he just opened a bar in New York a couple months ago in June.
Wow.
Opened Lullaby. So.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's but he lived 5 lifetimes.
Yeah.
I mean, he squished a lot into those years.
That's amazing. So you guys flew me out here though for Makahiki, which is the raddest small tiki event that I've been to. Very authentic, a lot of passionate Midwesterners out here.
Yeah.
What was kind of the idea behind Makahiki?
Well, our local chapter, the FOM, Makahiki was their event every year that they would do, but it just kind of happened to fall right around our anniversary.
Right.
So we got the idea last year to just kind of merge the two together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on Friday night, we kind of have our anniversary little party, and then on Saturdays, the big the Makahiki.
So some of the people who were here were our good buddy Ed Hamilton, and of course Cocktail Luminary, Beach Bum Berry. Yeah, never used that word before. And then some great bands too.
Oh yeah, we had the lineup this year was killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
What?
Like we had 4 headliners. You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
What were the bands again? I don't want to miss anybody.
And we had Tiki 5-0, the Manakooras, the Tentakills, and then Rum Coca-Cola, local jazz musician.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did all the entertainment was great, and then we had burlesque later on.
Yeah, cap the night with burlesque. Could never go wrong there.
I know, such a fun event, and then vendors, and you could buy art from Dave Hansen and Ken Ruzick and all kinds of people. Are you guys gonna do it again?
Oh yeah, it's our annual event. I mean, we envisioned it in the beginning, eventually kind of growing to become a Midwest tiki event.
Yeah.
Because Indianapolis is just perfectly geographically located in the Midwest, and I think a lot of folks from the West Coast don't realize that there are places. I mean, we hear it all the time, like, I didn't realize they had tiki here. I'm like, yeah, we got places, you know, obviously Max's in Michigan, Tiki Underground, we got Porco's, you know, Chicago, 3 Dots.
Makahiki, yeah.
I mean, recently Lost Lake, obviously we lost that during the pandemic. So, you know, literally we are at the intersection of 2 major interstates right here, like 400 yards from where we're standing.
Yeah.
So as it grows, it would become a lot more convenient for people to like just kind of bring in and vend and guest bartend. Like we had Lost River on Friday night, you know, taking over our Outpost bar. So yeah, it's growing quicker than we thought it would though.
Yeah.
Like in year 4, we're already like kind of holding on for the ride.
I bet this thing ends up being like a full like Thursday to Sunday thing. Eventually, I know. I'm sorry for ruining.
Don't say
your...
that. He's like the day after the event. He hasn't slept in 4 days.
Great. Thursday to Sunday. Cool. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's gonna grow. Shout out to our buddy Juwan.
Yeah.
Wish he could have been
Cheers
here,
to
but
Juwan.
next year.
Who's Joanne?
Good friend of the bar.
Oh, okay.
He's living in LA now. He's having a little health spat in the hospital.
Oh,
Could not make it,
okay.
but
Yeah.
great guy.
All right. Folks, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to like, comment, hit the subscribe button if you aren't already.
Smash it.
If you ever find yourself anywhere in the Midwest, make the pilgrimage out here to the Inferno Room. Dude, it will not disappoint. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
much.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Aloha. Excuse me there.
Motherfucker, I got thrown out here for snakes on a motherfucker. Oh, aloha.
Aloha!
Brad, I think that's good.